We are live. This is the market update. Ethereum fans, we are back. How back? Very back. We're going to go over some outside the box, way outside the box GAN research on Ethereum that people laughed at me about, right? Using biblical numbers. I know. Crazy, right? Yeah, it was crazy to have Ethereum at 1,400, which was the 2017 high. We saw 1,400 Ethereum in your life. I've seen it twice. Crazy. ETH had no use case. This is a lesson. ETH had no use case. It was over. Solana killed it. Nobody was ever going to do anything on the network. Gas fees went to zero. Activity fees went to zero. And then Vitalik came on the tape, took public relations lessons, and came up with a story about Ethereum reinventing itself, which stock market people love. What do they like in stocks? They love a good story, right? This guy named Peter Lynch wrote a book in the 90s. He used to go to retailers and go to companies or just go to stores and walk around and see what people were buying and then go home and buy the stocks. Equities, they love the story. Equities also think about where something's going to be in 6, 12, and 24 months from now. So if Ethereum's not Solana now, well, Ethereum might be like Solana or Bitcoin in 6 or 12 months. And this is one of 2 crypto ETFs. Only 2. Okay. 2 crypto ETFs. And it's massively underperformed. And all the crypto bros are giga short, and every single equities mutual fund, every single equities anything that is allowed to do these ETFs is going to do them in huge size with indiscriminate buying. I mean, when FTX started, ETH was at 3,000. And I'm supposed to be wowed by 2,400 ETH? It's like, call me when it's at 3,500. Then we could talk. Then something serious might be happening. What's happening now? I don't know. We're unwinding crypto bro stupidity, bear market excess, depression, nonsense, crypto winter, never going to have alt season again. So if you're wondering what we're doing here, we're just erasing all that. It's like, oh, look, the bearish, stupid chalkboard. Oh, look, ETH has no use case. Oh, yeah, let's erase that. Let's erase it. Right? And then it's up only. But why is it up only? Well, because everybody had the wrong view and the wrong position. I like that. That's kind of catchy. The wrong view and the wrong position. And then it just melts. Like, who's left to sell in ETH? No one. They sold it from 4,000 down to 1,400 with Bitcoin way through its 2021 high. What's the 2021 high in ETH? Like 5,000? And then I put this biblical thing together, this William Gann work, who was, into all kinds of, he was into the Bible. He said, if you want to understand markets, read the Bible 3 times cover to cover. Seriously, I'm not kidding. He said that. I was like, wow, I think I got to build a model with AI because, that's a lot. But he understood these things and he knew how to hack the matrix with the numbers in that book. I know, crazy, right? But the thing that called the low was that research. And if you don't believe that, you better believe Fidelity is in buying the Ethereum ETF for its customers. And BlackRock is probably after it too. These mutual funds, they got to go from 1% Bitcoin to 5 to 10% Bitcoin. And they got to go from 0% Ethereum to 3% Ethereum or 2% Ethereum. And there's no seller. And equities people know. They know that you can add $1 trillion to Bitcoin's market cap before you even have to worry about this. I mean, the largest asset by market cap, gold, and then second place is Microsoft. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely not. Right. Bitcoin has to leapfrog Microsoft. So we're going to add $1 trillion to market value. Everyone's all worried about 100K. Everyone's all worried about $1 million upside target. Bitcoin's going to leap Microsoft. Like, that's the flippening. That's the flippening that no one talks about. I remember last cycle, everybody talked about ETH flipping Bitcoin, right? That was pretty funny. I was a part of that party, right? That was like, all the big YouTubers and like boomer ETH maximalists. Stupid, right? We were stupid to think that. Okay. But now that Bitcoin is loose and the banks are allowed to do crypto, you're going to have some kind of DeFi running on ETH. And even if you don't, a dollar devaluation is in process. We talked about this. So anyone out there in London or Switzerland or Asia noticing that huge crypto moves are occurring in your time zone? Anyone noticing that? So first we had the US dollar versus the Taiwan dollar, which no one understood. The dollar collapsed. Then the dollar collapsed again when Bitcoin and Ethereum went straight up. Because they're currencies, right? Remember this thing we did about, Bitcoin being at the currency counter at the airport? It's a dollar devaluation occurring in Asia time, right? Who are the buyers? Are New York buyers up late at night? I don't think so. Now, of course, they're liquidating everybody. So, yeah, I mean, they're probably up because they're getting liquidated. But if they're short, I don't know. They'll never sleep again. If they're short and they miss this low, I mean, I've been saying this for, I don't know, at least a month, that you're probably looking at some long-term low point here. And everyone, you have $800 million in liquidations, and people are buying this market out of Asia. Something wrong out there with the Chinese currency, right? They devalue the dollar. That's part one. And then part two is, I don't know, you got something wrong over there. There's something wrong with their currency. Orange Man's doing trade deals everywhere, and they're isolated. So everyone in Asia time, wake up in the morning. Oh, okay. Yep. Time to go to lunch. Okay. Let's come back. Okay. Let's buy crypto. Let's buy crypto at 2:00 in the morning. Woof. Crypto up 10%. I mean, it was flying overnight, flying. Okay. We'll talk about why, and we'll go over the charts, but in many ways, the charts are self-explanatory. It's like, it's the bigger the base, the higher in the space. Everyone thinks they can't get long. Everyone's going to wait for a dip, and they won't get one for like 3 days. And when they do get one, the market will be massively higher. That's always the way it is, right? Analysts scream at the bottom. It goes up. Everyone asks, what's my entry? Your entry was a week ago. Then it'll go straight up. There's still no activity. Like, people are in shock. First, they were on shock because the market lulled them to sleep and made them think it was totally over. I mean, literally, it's like the last person to leave crypto, make sure you turn out the lights. That was like 5 days ago. Now people like YouTube face. Oh, what do I do? Okay, the good news is we're going to sort all that out, right? We're going to sort everybody out. Alexandra is here from Europe. She got up super early this morning. It's like, whoa, look at this. I get to have my Swiss breakfast and watch the market fly. How nice, right? Australia is here, moon in the market. What's up, Ben? Zepedas, Brian James, MJ Hits, Tooth, Tyler, Blown Ideas, right? Blue Hammer, Warm On. What's up? Neff in the house, Miguel, Timus, Find Out Now, and Yav. I change the pronunciation on that, like, I don't know, every 2 weeks. One day I'll meet the guy, we'll get it right. Okay. Now, let's review the most hated piece of research I've ever done. Okay. So William Gann, he liked the number 5. He just liked the number 5. Now, why did he like the number 5? Well, because the recorded history, ready, of Jesus in the New Testament was roughly 5 years. So in the 5th year of the history of this very important figure, he rose from the dead, ascended into heaven. And then he became, or his work became, a worldwide religion and belief system. I think that's neutral. That's just the facts, right? Year 5, he rose, ascended, and then became like sovereign. Okay, so I input this into the new Gann model and say, all right, well, you know what? And the model reminds me that May 5th was the 5th day of the 5th month of the year of the 5th year of the decade. So I was like, okay. So based on this and all the stuff I trained it to do, what is the 2025 monthly forecast summary? Right? And I told it, right? Like we didn't come out with anything stupid. Like we didn't tell it, oh, show it mooning Ethereum. I said, okay, here are the parameters. Bitcoin's at 94, ETH's at 1900, and Solana's at 140. Okay. And the machine called it the ascension cycle. Okay. All right, fine. So I published this. So in May, it's got 120 as the high. No one's talking about that. Everyone's still obsessed with 100. They're going to get smoked. I don't even know if the high is 120. It could be. I got a colleague who thinks it's higher, but that's not really the point. That's not the point. I'm telling you, everyone's like, oh, where's Bitcoin going now? I don't know until every institution is in. How long is that going to take? I don't know, but they better do it before the orange man's dinner. So 120, 130. Okay. Now, what about ETH? Remember, I told the machine it was 1900. The machine says, rising from the dead, right? 3,400 for the high in ETH and 4,000 for June, with a close in June at 3,800. I published this, and like one guy came in and said, yeah, that's cool. And then another guy who likes me is like, Bill, I'm sorry. No. and I didn't tell you I'd say anything about this, right? Because I thought it was the coolest thing ever, right? The 5th day of the 5th month of the 5th year in the decade, tied to the number 5, tied to an important religious figure that rose from the dead. How's Ethereum trading? What does it look like? It looks like it rose from the dead. This is happening. This is really happening. Like 4,000 ETH could happen. You don't think so? You look at Pepe and all that stuff that's moving like this. Like these numbers, like a computer came up with these numbers based on, feed it some parameters and feed it some stuff. The machine was like, Ethereum will rise. Like for real. Okay, Bitcoin takes out Amazon. All Amazon is a bunch of digital real estate. It's like a metaverse where you can get physical products in exchange for dollars. Boring. Bitcoin is software you can't replicate and money you can't print. Period. Right? And everybody knows it, but no one owns enough of it. Like everyone's bullish, but no one's long. It's kind of like Thanksgiving before the election. Everybody was bullish, nobody was long, which is why this market trades the way it does, because nobody is long. Nobody. And then because no one's long, there's no seller when everyone comes in at the same time. So it gaps up and everyone's like, well, I missed it. No, there's a line of people standing outside the door waiting to buy, waiting for a seller to show up. There's no seller. Where is there going to be a seller in ETH? Altcoins? Class? Anybody? 4,000 ETH. That's where you'll see the seller and the dip. Crazy, right? Crypto in beast mode. ETH melts faces. They ran out of doom and gloom stories on this thing. Like, look at this. Some kind of like global population study. Every day it was like, oh my God, it's going to zero. Yesterday it was like, oh my God, we have to buy something. Now it's like, oh my God, the year's over. We're stupid. It's in a range. We should have bought crypto. Don't say I didn't tell you this. It's like for real happening. Okay. And everybody is going to make nice, right? So we have Vladdy and the Orange Man making nice. Everybody's going to make nice. Okay. All the Orange Man wanted to do was get as many factories over here as he could, because 5 years from now, factories will be run by robots. So why would we want the Chinese buying robots from their robot companies to run our factories or factories that make our products? We want a factory that buys robots from Elon to make our stuff here. Long-term strategy, short-term pain. Everybody witnesses stocks go down and Bitcoin go up. The world changes. Thank you for coming in. Buy everything. That's it. That's it. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. And you know what? The other Orange Man knows it. Forget about it, right? I mean, who's going to stop this guy? This guy could go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have people willing to give him hundreds of billions of dollars. He could start buying miners. I'm telling you, there's going to be takeovers. You know, Novogratz, in order to go public at Galaxy Digital, gets rid of a Bitcoin miner to go AI and data center, which is unbelievable because every single tech firm cannot build AI data centers fast enough. Yeah, 3 years from now, there's going to be you're going to throw a stick up in the air and it's going to land on a data center. But he got rid of Bitcoin mining. It's optics for going public. But, you know, like I said, he's going to just start taking over miners. He's like, wow, these people make Bitcoin? Yeah, okay, let's get some of that. Let's borrow some money, upgrade their hardware, and have them make Bitcoin and take their entire supply off the market. You don't think that's going to happen? Wait until you see what happens at 140, because like I said, it's going to double off the low. What happens when tariff talk tops? We talked about this. Bitcoin doubles. So you had Bitcoin at 74, multiply that by 2, boom. That's what you got, 140. So where's Bitcoin going? Oh, it's going to 140. Where's ETH going? Where's Solana going? Where's Cardano going? $800 million in short liquidations. Brilliant trading. It's exactly what we need. We need day traders. Like, you know what? You know what they're all going to do? Because you can tell I kind of hate them, right? I'm a trend guy. Kind of a hot, sort of a hodler, active portfolio managers. Okay. So guess what all these shorts are going to do now? They missed it. They missed the up move because they were too busy looking for 91. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to fight it. They're going to start trying to say, well, it's overbought. It's gone too far. Let's short it. And then it'll go down and then I'll buy. We can all genuflect. It'll be very orderly and tidy. Everyone likes it tidy. No, they got short. They got smoked. They're going to get short again. And then it's really going to go. That's exactly what's going to happen here. They missed it. Then they're going to fight it. And then everybody who's bullish won't do it because it looks scary. And it's exactly what you should do. It was scary at the low. You should have bought that. And it's scary up 30%. And you should buy that too. Not investment advice. Got any more bold predictions? Bitcoin is never going to hit 100 from 2019. As CryptoQuant noted, the last time people were this bearish, it was winter. Altcoin season was never happening. Can you believe people actually wrote those articles? Though, those articles may wind up in the Crypto Hall of Fame because it's not the reporter's fault. It's the editor that assigns it. Now, I don't know if maybe the editor is a machine, but somebody assigned those stories to those reporters, or I don't know. Maybe they assigned it to themselves. They can explain it on whatever interview they have at the Hall of Fame. It's like, yeah, I sold the gigantic generational low. I sold the bottom of $1 devaluation. Will you spend your Bitcoin on a cheeseburger? Steak and Shake now accepting Bitcoin payments starting May 16th. So, How many people are going to be taking crypto for Christmas? While we're on that front, right? While we're on that conversation, what happens for the man's birthday, huh? How many people are taking it? They got to get it on their balance sheet. So rather than buy it, just have all the crypto bros come in. I think these guys, this is the same group that did the RFKJ fries, right? In the good oil. Yeah. Let's change the whole clientele. Let's have the crypto bros come in, and let's have Miss Teen Crypto come in and make a video buying a burger with Bitcoin. Yeah. Let's get it on the balance sheet. We'll give you meat. We'll give you our product. We'll give you a Tesla. Heard anything from Elon lately? Nope. How's he going to get back involved in the conversation? I'll give you a hint. He's going to have to get on Bitcoin before the orange man does it, because once the orange man takes control of that narrative, you can forget about it. You absolutely forget about it, right? You know what I would do if I was the orange man? I would send Melania to the Bitcoin conference to give like the massive, to announce the whole, whatever they're going to announce. Let Melania do it. Nobody wants to hear from meatballs like Lutnick, right? Bessett's been on the tape, but he's busy with tariff. Send the star power to announce the Bitcoin thing. Oh my God. Melania and Michael Saylor on a stage in Vegas. Think about it. Meanwhile, back at the congressional ranch, Congress won't even do the stablecoin bill. Can't believe it. They will not do the stablecoin bill. I thought they wanted that because somebody had to buy the debt. And now it's just, I guess Congress is like, well, I don't know. Maybe the banks don't like it. Maybe the left is being super obstinate about it. If the orange man wants it, we're not doing it. I don't know. Okay. You guys don't want to do it? The market will do it. The market will do it. Like, you know, there's this idea that we need the government to do things. Well, yeah, okay. That'd be great. That'd be great. Because, I mean, you know, they have a little bit of a P&L problem. They need to get an appreciating asset on their book, right? Seriously. Like, it's almost like, in a way, we're mooning their bags because they're already long Bitcoin. So if the government doesn't want to do it, they don't want to do stable coins, they want to act like they can do it later, they can do it when Bitcoin's at 200. I can wait. People who held XRP at 50 cents. What about the people who held Ski Mask? You know what I'm saying? Like Gann said this. You got to wait, right? It's almost like you kind of almost, he used this kind of word. You know, you get your power from the patience, right? It's like a blessing in a way to be rewarded for being patient. Speaking of that, ETH has re-entered our top 10 alt rank for the first time in 2 years. Social engagements. Yeah, I mean, I was up all night tweeting about ETH. All night. Just giving everybody the business. Just giving them the business. Like, why stop? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. You wonder what we're doing here? This is what we're doing here. Nearly half of young Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 1 in 6 say they're financially secure. At their age, boomers and Gen Xers were starting families and buying houses. Instead, millennials and Gen Z are eating ramen with roommates. Let me ask you something. How high is Pepe going? I got that call right with the Gann model. Whiff, the hat stays on. Bonk, Doge, they're next. These poor people, they got to do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, these meme coins came out. Whales dumped on retail. They all crashed. Now, they're awake. Now, the casino is open. Now, the casino may have a moral purpose if it's not pump.fun. If it's actually bigger coins, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of new stuff. I mean, don't kid yourself, right? But 1 in 6, really? They're going to head for the casino, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. And God forbid the tech part of crypto just takes off. You want to talk about biblical? That's going to be biblical, like Old Testament. like lightning and frogs and boils and just gone. Like this that's happening now. This is the warm up, just in case you're wondering. Orange Man says China should, buy more American stuff. Orange Man says, yeah, we're gonna have tariffs down 50% by next week. Deal's already been done. They've already done the dollar devaluation. Meanwhile, Doomberg, some guy who wants you to eat bugs, warning, oh my God, tariff, inflation. CEOs may lay people off. That's the only true part. That's okay, because that means the Fed, whoever takes over for dummy, is just going to have to cut rates harder. Just going to have to cut harder. Or dummy's going to have to do it on an emergency basis, whatever. I'm good either way. Bank of America. I think this is the guy that called the bottom, actually. He said if Trump's approval ratings fell and the S&P fell below 5,000, buy. Okay, so they need something to say in legacy. It's in a range. Cash out your stock, take a vacation, take a sabbatical, go write a book. This is our show now. It's our show. Chinese panicking ahead of trade talks stops publishing economic data. Right? Like, my facts are my facts and your facts are my facts. You don't get the facts. Like every single piece of economic data is a lie. Like machines, like Truflation, machines are going to have to calculate economic numbers because humans are done. Humans are just like, yeah, economic data is a tool to manipulate algorithms. So we just manipulate the data and we manipulate the market. And, you turn everything off in China for a month and they got major problems. The Orange Man is going to he's going to get whatever he wants. We got an American Pope from Chicago. I keep saying it. We got an American Pope from Chicago. We got the Chinese. The betting odds on that guy were like 5%. 5%. The Vatican's like, well, you know what? We better get with it. Everybody thought he was stupid, and he still may be. But now, play around and find out. The Europeans sue 5 countries for failing to enforce digital censorship. Wow. So the central government of Europe, which, I don't, you don't hear about that much. The central federal government of Europe is unhappy with 5 countries' censorship. So I guess nobody's going to want an eSIM card to allow you to talk on Telegram or Signal or surf the web or send a message without them knowing who you are, or maybe buy a Visa gift card or get a VPN or have an email address that they can't see and feed to an intelligence service or somebody building Skynet. You don't want that. Meanwhile, the main McAfee feed has got the new antivirus website up, complete with the creepy video, the NFT collection, and a 4 million market cap. The longer they take to figure that out, with these big memes mooning indiscriminately, and the guy's talking, right? And they're going after these memes. Don't get me wrong. They're going after, they're on centralized exchanges and the casino is open. I just got a DM. Here's what's funny, that they just put Pax Gold. So the gold token just hit Coinbase. Just like the memes, right? They get listed on centralized exchanges, I don't know, after the fact. Yeah, let's list Giga Chad at multi-billion-dollar market cap and dump on retail. Let's list the gold token on Coinbase and distribute it and then buy Bitcoin. A lot of times Coinbase coins are good if it goes like literally right to Coinbase, or maybe it's something like Trump, like I said, that it goes right to Coinbase. That coin's bottoming too, by the way. So let's see what antivirus is doing, right? Trying to press through 4 million. You go. The thing goes through 4.5 cents. They take out the previous fourth wave. In other words, where the give up trade started from, and we're off to the races. Ski mask dog, right? Couple of ways to draw this. I think this is the easiest. All of these memes look the same, right? There's a shoulder. 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 There's a head. And the good news about these formations is that they're ugly. They're not obvious to the naked eye. They're not. I don't know. So if Ski Mask Dog breaks out, it's 12 cents. And probably if it's 12 cents, all hell breaks loose. No pun intended. I know we're on that theme today. This is going to go crazy, right? Everything's coming back from the dead. Seriously. Back from the dead. This was dead. I mean, this thing, the grind lower in ski was so painful because it would go down, but it wouldn't collapse. It would just go down and then it would try to rally, but then it couldn't make it. Remember this? Right? And then we just did this like ping pong bottom, which is annoying, right? This is terrible, right? Because it keeps making new lows. Then they squeeze you up and then they drop it again. This looks very pretty, but it's psychologically, it's like it just, you just want to get out. Like there are guys on my streams. They're like, dude, I just can't wait to get even so I can get out. I'm like, well, dude, if you get even, you won't want to get out. If you get even, you might wake up and be up 15% because that's how it moves when no one's even and then everyone's even. Like, boom. Like, that's how fast it happens. Pepe. The frogs are back, right? What's Pepe? Levered ETH. What's Whiff and Bonk? Levered Solana. Actually, Elon was on MOG. Good for him. He was on it early. Way early. Absolutely crazy to think that this is going to stop anytime soon. Anytime soon. Let's go to TA. Okay, so Sui, right? These were your dips. We had this thing, like a dip window for Sui with the Gann model between like the 5th and the 8th, 5th and the 9th. You got a dip and you got a dip. 4-hour chart, gone. You see this? This 9 top? Okay, well, sometimes it's a bottom, right? They really did a good fake out here. You really thought it was going to keep going. Sometimes it's a bottom, sometimes it's a top, or sometimes it's a pause. It's just the pause that refreshes. So they do the dip overnight because people got a little emotional. Okay. Everybody comes in America and thinks they're going to get a dip, and they don't realize that the dip was overnight. They did the rally and the dip all at once, which is how these things are when they move, right? Like Sui's sitting on top of a prior high on a 4-hour chart. And this is not even the thing that's going to move the most. I mean, it's moved so far, right? And it's clearly hot. But it's not as hot as some of this other stuff. You know, you got a 9 top in ETH. And I've said this. Where's the resistance in any of this stuff? Like, does this look like a big rally to you? Does this look like gangbusters? Let's go to monthly. Remember the 13 bottom? Wow. 13 bottom going the other way. 4,000, 3,800 is up here. And again, this is not to be a boomer about ETH. What people don't realize is the reason you don't have alt season is because you haven't had ETH. If you have ETH, the whole system can go, all of it, right? If you get Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP moving, Okay, XRP goes up, just sits there. See this dip where it like rises up on a 4-hour chart, this kind of candle? Yeah, that's your dip now. That is the dip. The pause is the dip. It's like back with the election. This is like gap and go, right? Hedge funds, mutual funds, everybody's after it. You know, going back to ETH, I know you'll probably get an XRP and Solana ETF at some point, but what if you don't? What if the SEC just goes, okay, why don't you guys play with the toys that you have, right? Everyone wants a new toy. Oh, I want a near ETF. Oh, I don't know, what do they want? They want a polka dot ETF. It's like, okay, well, there's nothing wrong with any of that stuff, but why don't you play with the toys that you have? So if everyone has to play with Bitcoin and Ethereum, where are Bitcoin and Ethereum going? I don't know. I mean, remember this? You know, we looked at this like every single day. We looked at this like not every single day. We looked at it every single week, right? Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Okay, so here's the 13 bottom on the daily chart. And of course, they bore you and then boom. Classic, right? So Ethereum versus Bitcoin. You have a 13 and a 9 bottom. These plus signs say this 13 bottom has been slow cooking for a long time. They drop Ethereum back to 2019 levels. So post ICO ashes. So not only did they throw ETH in the dumpster, but they burned it. Literally, it was dead. But you have every bottoming signal in the world at massive support. You look at this little green candle. Like, what's really happened in the last week? Nothing. Oh my God, I can't touch ETH. It's up 30%. Okay. So how high does this have to go to even get back to where it's the whole down only started? This is why you can have Bitcoin at 140 and ETH at 4K. And then where can you have ETH at the end of the year, which no one is talking about? That'll all be next week, right? You'll hear that'll be all over Cointelegraph and whatever. That's next week. It's gone, right? It's just gone. And then Solana hasn't gotten started yet. So Novogratz, in addition to getting rid of data centers, getting rid of Bitcoin mining for data centers, he dumped ETH for Solana when ETH was at 1,800. And then he's going to have to buy it all back at 5,000 because his clients are going to want to do DeFi or something on ETH. I mean, the guy's a billionaire. What am I going to say about that? Nothing. But sometimes these guys, they make dumb short-term mistakes. Everybody gets hosed. If you got hosed, you got company. Okay. Where's the resistance in Solana? There's nothing up here but blue sky. And these memes are going to go with it. Like the casino is open, and I don't blame kids. Let them do it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's take it all up. There's a guy named Crypto Dog, one of the first guys I started watching on Twitter. He has this great thing that he says, right? He says, moon it all of it, moon it all. Okay, people, that is the market update for today. We will see you tomorrow.